Yeah, I did.
That's Satya, by the way.
Hi. Hi. Yeah. So yeah, 50% of the people sitting over here are my friends, and they have not read the book. I am going to be asking questions of all of you once the event is over. So just get your copies and speed read. But I think even since they're all your friends, and even if they've not read the book, they know what you're about, and that is a lot of it is in the book. Like you see Mandira on Instagram every day, and you get that daily motivation. It's not Monday motivation; it's hashtag daily motivation. So I want to start by asking you a very simple question. Oh, what is happiness? Simple.
Oh man, how much time do you have? um, at the moment, happiness is an intent I put out every single morning. I want to be happy for no reason. I want to be happy not because there's an event in the day or something I'm going to wear or somebody I'm going to meet or something to do. I want to wake up in the morning and say, regardless of what lies ahead in my day, I want to be happy. So happiness for me is an intent, and it's something all of us are searching for. And a couple of years ago, had you asked me this question, would you be writing a book? It would be called Snappy for No Reason or Angry for No Reason. Happy for no reason, certainly not. So, I mean, that's what happiness means to me. It's something I intend for every single day.
Yeah. Satyadev, what did you think when you guys first talked about the book and it was about happiness?
Yeah, it works. Well, the title came from Penguin, you know that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It was, I think, Mandy's bio.
The title came from me.
Yeah,
It was
for
her bio on
bio,
Instagram.
it just says
Yeah.
Mandira Bedi happy for no reason. So this guy, Prebanko, who was this commissioning editor for Penguin, so he just said that I already know the title of the book and it should be a fitness book. And we got talking and we're like, yeah, but Mandy, you're like much more than fitness, right? And so it felt really natural, yeah, because I mean, this has been our journey. I've seen Mandy for the last like 20 years. I've seen the transformation and I've seen this eternal quest for happiness and in a most organic manner, you know. And I can tell you, like, she's the happiest I've seen her now at this stage in her life. So this book couldn't have happened 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
The timing is right. This is like so precise and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good title. We like it.
Yeah, we like the title. I have to say, a couple of years ago, I'd had other publishers come to me and say, we'd like you to write a book. And I was like, what am I going to write about? I don't know whether there's anything that can inspire or anything I want to share.
Yeah.
And then when Penguin comes to you, firstly say, Penguin has come to you. So that's the stuff that dreams are made of. And apart from that, I feel I've done a lot of work on myself. And I feel I want to share. I feel even if this book can help a few people become a little more aware about themselves or even want to make a change in themselves, then I think that connection is what I hope for with this book.
I think
There were sorry, just to interrupt. There were two other tentative name options. One was.
We have a two-book deal.
Sorry.
No.
Sequel,
It might be that
sequel.
one. Let's keep it under wrap. कुछ भी बोल देते हो.
Suspense, हाँ, नहीं, होना चाहिए. Off.
But like you just said that you want the book to ignite something in people, you know. So I remember meeting you when I met you. We did a fitness story for midday, and at that time you had said that after you had the baby, for 40 days you were completely.
That's the baby.
That's
He's
it.
8
He
years
just
old
said
now.
that's my mom when you came.
That was nappy
up.
for no reason. basically. Yeah.
So you had said that for 40 days you were in a really bad shape, and on the 41st day you went for a walk in the rain, I think. And but for everyone who's sitting here or is reading the book or sees your Instagram, how do they get that change? How does it happen? Like how does one get up in the morning and say, okay, this day is going to change my life, or I'm going to change my life this day?
I think everybody has to have their own journey and their own awakening. I have a ready-made template of a fight with my husband who doesn't like to exercise. And he's going to put the phone down. Thing is, and now he started. So I think if the book makes somebody say, you know what, I feel inspired to do this, great. But I think everybody has their own journey and everybody has their own, that moment of awakening saying, this is what I want to do. I want to change myself physically or do better physically, or I want to change myself emotionally and find a better space of health emotionally and mentally. So I think that I was very aware of the angry person I was. I used to fight a lot with my husband and my mum. Both of them have
I'm
been.
lucky she's lost the anger as I'm 40
Yes.
minutes late. So she did not get angry with me.
No, but you know, my husband and my mum were on the receiving end of a lot of my anger. And in the middle of fighting with them, or right after fighting with them, or saying something that I shouldn't have said, I would feel it. I say, you know, this is not the person I want to be. I don't like who I've become. I don't like who I'm becoming. I need to make that change. So awareness comes first, and then working on it, which is the hard. Awareness is the first step, and working on it is the much harder step, and the longer process, and that follows. So everybody has to find that one thing that, you know what, this is not what I want to be, weight-wise, or emotionally, or mentally, and I want to make that change. We are all riddled with patterns. We all have a lot of unresolved issues which we push down, which become our patterns later, and breaking those patterns are very, very hard. And anger was a pattern for me. My response to everything was anger. My response to everything was a negative response. I would snap a lot. So I didn't want to be that person, and I needed to change, and I wanted to change. It was like there from inside me, and I've gone to therapy, and I have people over here who've helped me sitting in the audience. I have done classical therapy, and I've done spiritual therapy, and I've done hypnotherapy as well. And I've really worked. I've really worked to try and, I'm not saying I've arrived anywhere, I'm a work in progress, but I've really worked to get to a place where I can even talk about all of this.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that makes us make a change is when we see aspirational people like you. Like, you know, you see, like, I just was thinking about it today that, you know, seeing your post has made me want to go to the gym. I saw, you know, exactly. So, but how would you, and that's such a big part of, especially women, feeling sexier as they grow older. I think it's nice to go to the gym and whatever. What would you tell women who are, you know, 35 and above, and who are trying to make that change, but you can't stick to it? You will go for 3 days, then you won't go. What would you tell? How to get a body like yours by keeping true to their body?
Firstly, as an aside, I'll tell them, don't hide your age. There was a time, every time Wikipedia used to say 1972, yes, I'm 47 years old. Every time Wikipedia said 1972, I would go on, and it's an open platform, and I'd quickly change the age. And then there was someone who's मेरे पीछे पड़ गया था. So next morning, it would again say 15th April 1972. I said, what's wrong with this person, and why is he after me? Anyway, don't hide your age. Be proud of your age.
I think you're one of the rare celebrities I've done interviews with who didn't mind the age being right on top.
In
like
a headline.
Said,
No, actually, you asked me.
47.
You asked me, and you said something about, can we make this the headline? I was like, okay then.
But it's inspirational, right? You make growing older also look so cool. I'm all cool now to turn 47. You know.
Well,
so yeah.
The other thing is, for people who are on a journey of weight loss and they want to get fit, I say don't look at the ultimate goal. Don't look at the end. Like, I want to lose 20 kilos. When you want to lose 20 kilos, that's a very big task in front of you. It's an uphill task. It's scary. So give yourself teeny tiny small goals and applaud yourself. Every 1 kilo you use, you say, well done. You lose another 2 kilos, you say, good job. You keep applauding yourself for your smaller victories, and give yourself small goals to begin with, because that's how you can eventually get to those 20 kilos.
Yeah. But how did you both decide how much part of the book was going to be a fitness book and the rest of it? What was?
Sorry, what happened was, we when we sat down, I came down from Denmark, and we sat down, and we just wanted to jam basically for 4 or 5 days. So we kept the time aside, switched off the phones, and we had a little recorder in the middle, and we started jamming on the topics basically. And it had to come organically. It had to come from her life, and I needed to feel comfortable, because if I was writing this book without Mandy, that would have pretty much contained very similar topics. So we were on board, you know. So letting go, and like, you know, it's never too late, and very inspirational kind of thing. Gratitude, end the chapter with gratitude. And somewhere we knew that Mandy had to do a fitness chapter, and so she kind of came up with this, this has to be the core of the book. And that was like, core. and that was the midsection of the book, and the core, and all these little thoughts came in. So it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
And
we call it the fitness handbook.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, a lot of people really fly past that one, because it's got workouts.
Yeah.
It's got some recipes. It's got the ultimate top 40 playlist. You won't need another playlist, a workout playlist ever again.
Yeah, that was amazing. You have a playlist.
So it's got like some fun stuff, and it's not like a heavy reading. It's a lot of pointers. So it's a quite a few pages in the center, and it is a very important part of my life, and it's responsible for the first few steps of my walking in this direction. So it had to be an important chapter.
And it's a very
Yeah.
authentic chapter because it is the stuff that you are doing basically.
Every
So,
day.
yeah, pretty
I've
much.
seen her put up like
Yeah.
even a hotel room. She does her workouts, right? Every day. Yeah. So, but one of the things that when I did this interview recently, we were talking about how one of the things you say your hack to get to happiness is to accept things the way they are, not expect things,
Right.
and that is so hard
There's
for
an
all
entire
of us to
chapter
do.
on accept,
Yeah.
not expect. But my greatest hack actually, I put out that intent every day, right? I want to be happy. 6 days out of 7, it works out well. The
Yeah.
7th day, something is going to go awry. And on days like that, I practice gratitude. Gratitude is my driving force. I am always and forever grateful. There's something I read somewhere which stuck with me, that wherever there's gratitude, there is no room for unhappiness,
Yeah.
there's no room for negativity, there's no room for anger. They can't coexist. So on the days when everything goes idhar udhar, I tell myself, okay, these are the things that are going right. There's my beautiful son. There's this home, that lovely home that we have. There's the love that I get from my family and my friends. There's a husband who I love most of the time, you know. So I mean, there's so much to be thankful for. There's so much to be grateful for. And when you look at the things that you have to be grateful for, honestly, that anger or that negativity or that jo bhi ulta pulta hua, that just kind of dissipates.
Yeah, and I want to read. She's put 108 reasons she's, grateful.
ask the
I want to
people-
read some of the fun ones.
Before you say anything, there are people who say, when you say to them, hello, kaise chal raha hai, how are you? Chal raha hai.
Going
Life's going on, surviving. The fact is, no, if you actually sat down and wrote the things you were grateful for, you say, life's fantastic, man. Itna अच्छा चल रहा है सब कुछ.
I've tried this, but after 7 days, you're like, am I going to say the same things again? What else am I thankful for? And then I read her list, and she says, 55, I'm grateful for free and fast Wi-Fi. So all of us.
Come on.
Put that in.
And when you go to a hotel and you get free and fast Wi-Fi, you're not paying for it, and you can download stuff on Netflix and Amazon Prime. It is something to be grateful for, no?
Yeah, number 56, I'm grateful for dry shampoo. It saved the day.
Yeah, I'm grateful for Kiss Me Toffee sitting in the back over there. It took me to my childhood, Kiss Me Toffee. I'm grateful. So dry shampoo has saved the day so many times for you, no?
I'm grateful for deodorant, and so
I'm
other
grateful for
people use it.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially other people using deodorant.
Exactly. Thank God for deodorant. People
Yeah.
use it, and then the atmosphere is like palatable.
But how does one practice gratitude every day on the day that things are not going okay? Like, it's very hard. And I mean, you've practiced it for a while. What would you tell a person who's going to get out of this room and say, okay, now I'm going to start doing these things?
It's as simple as actually taking a piece of paper and writing things down.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
write down 10 things you're grateful for, and if you actually feel grateful for those things, for the things big and small that you have going right in your life, your attention and the energy that you're giving that one negative thing or one thing that's gone wrong will be less.
Yeah.
It has to be less.
Yeah.
It will dissipate. So I mean, it's as simple as just, what, I'm feeling everything's gone wrong. Let me take a piece of paper. Like the other day I was feeling negative about something, and I told Raj, this has been bothering me. And honestly, I just in my head I made a mental note of, what? No, I have a book that's on release. I have some lovely work coming my way. Veer's in a beautiful school. We live in a lovely home with so many beautiful friends and so much love that we get. That's enough. Isn't that enough?
Yeah. Should
Small
be.
things,
yeah.
small things. When energy goes where attention flows, So what you're putting your energy on. Imagine in Denmark. Denmark is considered one of the happiest countries in the world, right? And it comes on top of the list every other year. And when you start really looking into it, ask people, okay, so what makes you happy? And everyone has a different answer for what makes you happy and what their quest for happiness is, right? And when we're sitting in these workshops and I'm looking at, okay, the social structure, blah, 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 and health and education, forget all those things. Here you are in a country where your children are safe. Your 6-year-old can take a public transport and go to school. Okay? You open the tap and you drink the water from there. Try doing that here. right? And the fact that you're still alive after drinking that water, no? So I'm trying to like, and also
Yeah.
when I'm
Hey,
there.
leave us feeling grateful for India also,
Yeah,
please.
no,
Yeah.
No, but there are so many things that, I mean, and that's just, again, they don't have a lot of things that we have here, right? So when I'm also in that environment, I'm telling them that this, forget all the big stuff, you know, take the little things. There's water you can drink, there's fresh air, and here we have a different family structure. There's so much good going on in people's lives. But if you focus on that one little, that little thorn in the shoe, you know, that's
Then the
gonna
thorn
ta-
gets bigger.
that's going to take over your life.
Yeah.
It's going to fester.
Yeah. One of the things that Mandira and I have also talked about, and she does so well, is social media, which is a problem for many of us. Some days when we're in a bad mood and we see someone who's doing really well, it's very hard to see that person and be like, oh, she got what I wanted, or she has that body, or she has that job, or she wrote that book and I didn't. How do you use social media so in a healthy way?
I use it to put out stuff. I use it to keep me honest. I use it to keep me going. I don't look at it's not really my focus what's going on with
someone
somebody
else,
else.
yeah.
And over the years, there was a time I felt a lot of insecurity, and being an actor in being
Yeah.
in the entertainment industry, there's always jealousy. She has this and she's doing this, and I felt these things.
Yeah.
But in my 40s and this phase in my life, I really believe. Look at the way everything's changed. Now there's even there's platforms like Amazon Prime, and I mean there's basically web shows. There's so
Yeah.
much work. I really believe now there's so much work for everybody as well.
Yeah.
So what the other has does not bother me anymore. I use social media to just actually put out quotes that keep me motivated.
yeah.
I put out my I've got this thing going of 365 days of challenge to keep me honest, to keep me going. If somebody else gets motivated along the way, that's great. And there's nobody checking कि इसने आज miss किया या नहीं किया, इसने आज 400 calorie burn किए instead of 500. I do it to just keep myself going. I do it to keep myself positive, and I do it to keep myself honest. That's how I use it. There's very often a lot of negativity in the comments.
Yes.
All right? There's a lot of trolling, and there's a lot of like really nasty stuff that's
You
put
have
out there.
trolls?
Yes.
I don't believe that.
Of course. I did one episode of Troll Police, I have to tell you. Hi. I'll tell you about that later. But I'm just saying the negativity, it's changed over the years, I have
Yeah,
to say.
yeah.
If I ever put out a swimsuit picture, there'd be these really nasty comments earlier.
Okay.
Over the years, it's changed. Now people just take it as something motivating and inspirational. There was a time when people say, तू बुढ़िया बिकिनी
my
क्यों पहनी हुई है? And I'm like, okay, so be it. The thing is,
But you are giving me courage to wear a bikini.
the worst
so
thing people
that's how
can
you should
say,
see
the
it.
worst thing people can say, sadly to me right now, is I'm old, and I don't look at that as an
As
insult.
a bad thing. Yeah, exactly.
That is not an insult. So I'm just saying, the other day with a couple of my friends, we were having a few drinks, and for a few laughs, we decided to look at all the comments, the negative comments that people had, and we had. My friends are sitting over here in the audience, Samu and Ashish. We had so many laughs because it was hilarious what people think and what they say, and under anonymity, कुछ भी बोल लेते हैं.
Bilkul.
I mean, really.
Yeah, once I got a message.
बुढ़िया बिकिनी क्यों पहनी हुई है? अपनी उम्र देख. मैं देख रही हूँ और मैं बिकिनी पहन सकती हूँ. आप पहन सकते हो क्या?
You and Jennifer Lopez are keeping 40 pluses hopeful. That is what is making us like go ahead. But we'd like to open the platform. Anybody wants to ask a question? I'm sure you have questions for both of them.
Really well. I don't know whether they want to ask any
They
questions.
should ask the worst questions, then the deep ones.
Hello. Anyone? Okay. I had one. So you had driven trucks in Himalaya. So how was your experience, and if you could let us know something more about?
Well, I took on the project. It was Ice Road Truckers, and it's a show where you have to drive a 14-ton truck all over the country. So on all the highest motorable passes of India, and so I took it on, saying, we used to love trucks then. This was about 3 years ago. Veer is going to be very proud of his mum when he, because once it goes out into, it's there for posterity on YouTube, and he can see it later on. He'll be very proud of me. His mum drove a truck in the Himalayas. But when I was out, thank you, Veer. But when I was out there, and every single day there was no security of any kind.
Yeah.
There are these roads which only one vehicle can pass through. You need to go to the passes and overtake, or when two trucks are opposite each other, you have to wait for a pass. And anyway, every morning I realized when I was there, there's no safety. I could actually fall off the cliff, and the drivers who were sitting next to you, their job is to scare you. So we're driving, he say, मैडम जी आपको पता है यहाँ ना आप राइट में देखेंगे तो आपको ट्रक ही ट्रक दिखाई देगी और लाश ही लाश. I'm like, what are you even talking? Why is he telling me this? So every single morning, I said, I'm doing this for my son to be proud of me, but I need to stay alive for him. So it was, oh, thank you. So it was a wonderful experience. Fact is, they've never made it again because I don't think anyone, everybody survived it.
They don't want anything
I don't
to
think, they
happen.
said nobody died.
Yeah.
I think let's just keep it at one season, never make it again. So they haven't made it again.
I have a question. Do you miss your old hair?
Never. Not at all. Never going back to the long hair. This is it. The short hair is to stay. It's very freeing. It's very liberating. And every now and then for a role,
So if you grow it out, but it'll be curly again,
if
right?
it'll be curly. If I grow it out, it's not me. I don't connect with that
You've
person
been
anymore.
obsessing with this since yesterday. I came in, she's been telling me, I want to take you for a haircut. Because she has nothing
She has
left to
something
cut.
with long-
No, she's obsessed
long
with my
hair
hair
now.
now. Like, no, I want to get you short hair. I don't want short hair.
But what,
You look more. You look.
Took him for a holiday and then
Yeah,
we took
there's
him.
no haircut happening between him and me.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
cut
So now he's
yours.
cut my hair.
Well, one of the things, I mean, speaking of Raj, you've spoken very candidly in the book about your marriage as well. And I remember her telling me that every time they fought, he would say, go for a run. Is that the hack for a successful, I think you completed 21 years?
21 years!
On Feb 14th.
We gave each other
So-
medals.
So is
Because
that the hack
that's the
for
modern day
good?
Varmala. When
Yeah.
people renew their vows, they shouldn't give each other like malas, they should give each other medals because it's a big
Totally,
one.
yeah.
I have to tell you this, Raj read the book after the book was published, not in the
Writing
manuscript
stage. Yeah, yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
And the moment the first copy came out, that morning he said to me, I'm going to read the book. And I went to the gym, I went to drop Veer to school, I went to the gym, and about 10 o'clock, I look at the watch when this message comes from Raj. He says, Mandu, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Mandu, I am really, really sorry for all the crap I put you through. And I'm like, 1 minute, 8:30 started, it's 10 o'clock now. He's just finished the marriage chapter. And yes, I have spoken very candidly about my marriage. And you know what? For anybody who says it's smooth sailing, it is not. For anybody who says life is a bed of roses after marriage, that's a big fat lie. It's tough. There are good times and there are bad times. The relationship goes through all sorts of... What's the
Madness.
word? I don't know. Turmoil. No, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm saying this after now 21 years of marriage. Touch wood. I don't know whether I'll be saying this tomorrow or day after, but right now I'm feeling it. After 21 years of marriage, we're in a better place than we've been ever before. I mean, that
Yeah.
also, if you stick around long enough, na, you say, "Acha, ab inke saath hai, ab inke saath rahenge hum." So you know what? I'm telling you, I said this in one of the literature festivals I went to. I said, you know what the problem with millennials is? Millennials have a problem. They don't have enough tolerance. Agar toot gaya to toot gaya. And then when the audience questions came, somebody put up the hand and said something about how can you say problem with millennials. So I said, okay, the thing about millennials is their tolerance levels are lower than ours. And of course, there were times when Raj and I were at loggerheads and we were not getting along, but we decided we wanted to make it work.
Yeah.
We decided to stick with it and make it work, and so here we are today.
There is
And
the-
he's been,
Sailing the
honestly,
Partnership
yeah, it's called Sailing the Partnership.
Yeah.
He has been my greatest supporter. He has been the wind beneath my wings. He's always there to encourage me, always has a pep talk for me. I have tears in my eyes a little bit, no, Raj, I can be strong. No, but the truth is he's been my greatest support system. So I'm thankful. I love you, Raj.
That's lovely. Any questions? But what would you want everybody who reads the book? What would you both want them to take away from the book.
First, read the book, yeah?
Yeah, read the
My
book.
friend sitting over here, read the book.
It's
जिसने
really
पढ़ा नहीं,
fun
पढ़ लो.
read. Yeah.
The video edition, no, there's an
Audible.
Well, I would wish all of you peace first, because find your own recipe for happiness. There is no formula, but there are some tried and tested methods which work universally. So first, learn to understand your mind. If you don't know your mind, then your mind is going to take you for a very long ride. It's going to last for a very, very long time. Might not be a very pleasant journey. So find the true nature of your being. Find who you truly are, without your name, without your identity, with all the identifications that you've got in your life. Who are you? And that is the, I mean, and we are coming from a tradition. Imagine, this is India. People come from all over the world to find happiness here. I have so many friends in
Where do
Denmark,
Indians
Sweden.
go to find themselves?
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
question.
We are carrying all these little secrets in our tradition. So also look there, look culturally. It's all there. But if there's one thing you want to wish for yourself, your family, your friends, everything, it's peace of heart, peace of mind. Find shanti. Find shanti.
Find Shanti. Shanti's
Yes.
here.
Yeah. So, and that is so symbolic, because the first word in this
Yeah,
book,
is
first
Shanti,
before the
yes.
prologue starts,
Yeah.
it says Shanti, and we have two reasons for it, because that is kind of where Mandira is born, as Mandira Bedi, as you know her today. And for me, the book had to start with an auspicious opening, and the word for me was Shanti, because that is the prayer. May all beings be happy, and may all of you find happiness. And may you be happy for every reason, or no reason at all. So that would be my thing. 2 bits.
And this book, yes, please clap for him. I want to clap for him. This book would not have happened. He's the world's greatest procrastinator, but somehow with this book, he kind of took the lead and made it all happen. Yes, yes. I just, all I want to add to this is there's a lot of truths in this book, which I really have bared my soul. There's a lot I've said which I didn't think I would share, but I did. And what Satya has done is he's added some wisdom to it, added a take home, so people have something to take home from it, not just my crazy truths. But it's all I can say. Like, he wishes you Shanti. I just wish you lots of love, happiness, and know this: there's always, always, always something to be grateful for. Really. Free Wi-Fi.
Thank you, Mandira, for being you and for writing the book. And all of us are going to read it. Everybody's going to read it.
Thank you so much, Astha, Mandira, Satyadev. Thank you so much for the launch. I would now like to invite Mr. Rajesh Suri, Managing Director and CEO, Shopper Stop Limited, and Vice Chairman, Crossroad Bookstores.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for the lovely evening. Thanks Mandira, Satyadev, Astha. Request all the guests here, if you all require a signed copy by Mandira. Thank you. Thank you everyone for your presence.
guy did so much comedy before that. It's about what goes through stomach. My stomach is a lot of
सेल्फी लीजिए अगर खुद तो भेज देगा उनकी भाषा में बता रहे सेल्फी लेने बोलते अभी बोलते ना करना बोलो सेल्फी मोनी जी एक साथ में मोनी जी मोनी मैम मोनी जी एक साथ में मंदिर है सेल्फी लीजिए हाँ समाज अभी बोलो सेल्फी लो एक सेल्फी एक आप लीजिए ना सेल्फी लेंगे बाद में बेचारा कुतुब का फोटो हुआ नहीं मैम वेट फोटो नहीं मैम एक साथ में अभी बोलो मोबाइल से बोलो मोबाइल से बोलो मोबाइल से एक सोलो If she had something else, just call out and never die.
Sir, stop.
Ma'am, here. Moni ji, here.
I did the autograph wala my normal signature also.
Yes, can we get a pic with all of y'all?
Yes.
Both of y'all, all of y'all. Sorry.